my precious one. Pause everything right now because heaven is interrupting your routine. God says, I need your 2 minutes only. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when it is convenient. He is calling you by name tonight, before 11:57 p.m., because something very serious is happening around your body, and you were not even aware of it. This is not fear. This is not drama. This is divine urgency. 3 angels have been assigned to speak about you. Yes, about your body. About what hath been shifting silently. About what has been forming behind the scenes. And the message is shocking because you thought everything was normal. It is not. There is a spiritual tension that has been building. Small signs you ignored. Sudden tiredness that made no sense. Emotions that rose without warning. Random aches that doctors could not fully explain. You thought it was stress. You thought it was routine. But heaven saw deeper. And now, God says, I need your 2 minutes only. Why 2 minutes? Because destiny can turn in 2 minutes. A decision can be made in 2 minutes. A prayer can shift timelines in 2 minutes. A protection can activate in 2 minutes. And before this night crosses 11:57 p.m., something must be acknowledged. The first angel has already stepped near you. This angel carries the assignment of awareness. You were drifting into distraction. You were about to overlook a sign that your body was sending. But this angel interrupted it. That is why you clicked this. That is why your spirit feels alert right now. This is not coincidence. This is intervention. The second angel has been observing patterns. Not just your physical condition, but your environment. The air you breathe. The stress you carry. The words spoken around you. The unseen pressure on your nervous system. Years of buildup. And if it continues unchecked, it could manifest stronger. But heaven refuses to stay silent. The third angel, this one carries protection. And this is where it becomes shocking. There was something scheduled in the spirit realm to drain you slowly, not destroy instantly. Oh, it was subtle, gradual, almost unnoticeable. A slow weakening of motivation, a quiet dimming of joy, a gradual attack on your energy. But tonight, that schedule has been interrupted. Archangel Michael himself has stepped into the atmosphere around you. Not in chaos, not in noise, but in authority. He stands as a defender over your body, over your immune system, over your sleep, over your strength. And he is saying, pay attention. 2 minutes is all God needs. You may be asking, what is so serious? Here is the truth. Your body has been carrying more than it was designed to handle alone. Emotional weight has translated into physical signals. Unspoken worries have settled into tension. And what was meant to be temporary has started to become a pattern. But patterns can be broken. Before tonight ends, heaven wants your agreement. Not a long ritual. Not a complicated prayer. Just alignment. Because there is a moment coming very soon, so small that you could miss it, where you will feel prompted to change something. A habit, a rhythm, a conversation, a boundary. If you ignore it, the build-up continues. If you obey it, restoration begins. This is why the timing matters. 11:57 p.m. is symbolic. It represents the final seconds before a shift. Before Monday closes and another begins. Before something crosses into permanence. God is not threatening you. He is warning you out of love. And here is the shocking part: your body hath been fighting harder than you realize. There were nights it protected you when you were exhausted. There were days it pushed through when you felt weak. There were silent recoveries you never noticed. Heaven saw every one of them. But your body is asking for partnership now. The first angel says, notice the signs. The second angel says, change the pattern. The third angel says, receive protection. And Archangel Michael declares, no weapon formed against this body shall prosper. Do you feel that shift as you hear this? That slight awareness rising? That is not emotion. That is activation. God is not asking for hours. He is asking for 2 focused minutes tonight. 2 minutes of intentional alignment. 2 minutes where you close distractions and say, Lord, I'm listening. Because when you listen, strategy comes. When you listen, clarity comes. When you listen, protection locks in. Something very serious was attempting to progress quietly. But because you opened this message before tonight ends, the timeline is being reviewed in your favor. This is the interruption that changes everything. And what the next angel reveals about the exact area of your body that needs attention will make you realize why this message could not wait. Beloved soul, lean in closer now, because what is being revealed next is not random. It is precise. The second angel steps forward, and the atmosphere shifts. This is the angel assigned to patterns, not events, not accidents, patterns. And what this angel has been observing about your body is deeply connected to repetition. There is a cycle that hath been quietly forming, a rhythm that did not begin overnight. It has been building through habits, thoughts, stress responses, and even unspoken emotions. God says, I need your 2 minutes only, because in those 2 minutes, you will see what you have not seen before. There is a specific area in your body that has been signaling for attention. It may be your chest, where pressure rises when anxiety builds. It may be your stomach, tightening when you suppress your feelings. It may be your head, carrying tension from overthinking and silent battles. Or it may be your back and shoulders, holding responsibilities that were never meant to be yours alone. This is not random discomfort. It is communication. The second angel reveals that what you call normal stress has slowly become stored tension. What you call just being tired has turned into spiritual exhaustion. Your body has been speaking, but you have been pushing through. And heaven is saying, pause. Archangel Michael is not standing over you with fear. He stands with a sword of protection, cutting off the assignment of slow draining. Because there was an invisible weight attempting to grow stronger through neglect. Not dramatic, not loud, just gradual. But tonight, before 11:57 p.m., awareness is breaking the cycle. Here is the shocking truth. If you continue at the same pace without adjustment, your body will force you to slow down. Not to punish you, but to protect you. God does not want restoration to come through crisis. He wants it to come through obedience. That is why this message reached you now. The second angel whispers, change the rhythm. That might mean sleeping earlier, drinking more water, releasing a toxic conversation, saying no without guilt, taking a medical check you have been postponing, or simply stepping outside to breathe deeply again. Small shifts, powerful outcomes. And here is something you must hear clearly. Your body is not your enemy. It is your partner in destiny. It carries your calling. It carries your purpose. It carries your assignments. When your body weakens, your focus weakens. When your energy drains, your confidence lowers. The enemy would prefer you distracted and depleted. But Archangel Michael stands to declare strength over you. God is asking for 2 intentional minutes tonight where you place your hand over the area that feels tension and say, Lord, I align my body with your design. Show me what to change. In that moment, clarity will rise. You may suddenly remember something you ignored. You may feel prompted to adjust your schedule. You may sense peace replacing panic. This is activation. And listen carefully, because this is important for you and for someone else you love. Share this message with someone who has been silently struggling in their body. Like this video so that more people receive this interruption of protection. Comment below if you feel this message touching a real area in your life. Your engagement is not just support for a channel. It is participation in spreading a warning that could prevent silent damage in someone else. Subscribe and become part of this growing movement of spiritual awareness, because these messages are not entertainment. They are assignments. There is a reason you were awake at this time. There is a reason this reached you before midnight approaches. Heaven does not operate in panic, but it does operate in precision. The second angel is still standing near you, observing your response. Will you ignore this and scroll away? Or will you take the 2 minutes God requested? Because something shifts when you respond immediately. Delay weakens momentum. Obedience strengthens protection. And what the third angel is about to reveal about the emotional root connected to your physical state will open your eyes even wider. It goes deeper than stress. It goes deeper than routine. It touches something you have carried for years. Hold on, because what is coming next will connect dots you did not even realize were connected. Chosen vessel, breathe slowly for a moment, because what is about to be uncovered is deeper than surface tension. The third angel has now stepped forward, and this one does not speak about habits or schedules. This angel speaks about roots, about the emotional imprint that has been silently shaping your body from the inside out. God says again, I need your 2 minutes only, because in these 2 minutes, truth is going to meet healing. The third angel reveals that there is an old emotional weight still stored within you. Something you told yourself you moved past. Something you buried under responsibility, maturity, or silence. But your body remembers what your mouth stopped talking about. This is why certain triggers still affect you. This is why your heart races in moments that seem small to others. This is why your sleep sometimes carries unrest even when your day seemed normal. The body stores what the soul suppresses. And this is the shocking revelation. The seriousness is not just physical. It is emotional energy that hath been sitting too long without release. Archangel Michael is standing guard because what was meant to be temporary pain was trying to convert into a permanent pattern. And heaven will not allow that transformation to complete. There is a specific memory, conversation, or disappointment that marked you more than you realized. It may have been betrayal. It may have been rejection. It may have been a moment when you felt unseen. You survived it, yes. But survival is not the same as healing. Your body has been compensating. Tight muscles, shallow breathing, sudden fatigue, even digestive shifts. They are not random. They are the echo of unresolved weight. The third angel speaks clearly. Release before midnight. Not because God is counting seconds with anger, but because tonight represents a closing of an internal door. If you choose to let it go now, restoration accelerates. If you delay again, the cycle stretches longer. You do not need to relive the pain. You need to surrender it. Place your hand over your heart and admit what hurt you. Not to the world, just to God. Say, Lord, this affected me more than I admitted. That honesty breaks chains. Archangel Michael's presence intensifies when truth is spoken. His assignment is protection, but protection activates strongest when you stop hiding wounds from yourself. There was something attempting to settle permanently in your nervous system. A constant alertness, a quiet fight or flight mode, always prepared for disappointment, always bracing for impact. But you were not designed to live in constant defense. You were designed for peace. And here is what makes this urgent. If emotional tension continues unchecked, it can slowly influence physical outcomes. Not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually. Heaven intervenes early because it loves deeply. This message is not to scare you, it is to free you. You are not weak for carrying this. You are human, but you are also chosen. And chosen people must not ignore internal fractures. The third angel now declares restoration over your nervous system, calm over your heart rhythm, balance over your hormones, clarity over your thoughts, strength over your immune response. This is not mystical language. This is alignment language. God is recalibrating you. Before 11:57 p.m., take the 2 minutes. Speak forgiveness if needed. Speak release if needed. Speak closure if needed. You are not excusing what happened. You are freeing your body from carrying it any longer. And as you do, something will lift. It may feel subtle. It may feel like warmth. It may feel like tears rising unexpectedly. That is not weakness. That is unloading. Archangel Michael cuts the invisible cord tying your present strength to past wounds. You are not behind. You are being restored. The seriousness of this moment is not about danger approaching. It is about damage being prevented. Heaven stepped in before escalation. That alone is proof of divine covering over your life. Tonight is not ordinary. It is a pivot. And now respond with faith. Type I release and receive healing in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 314 is now activated over your body and your emotions. And as this code seals over you, know this: what you just aligned with is bigger than you think. It is opening a new flow, not just for you, but for others who are connected to your obedience. If this message stirred something real inside you, understand that spreading it is part of the assignment. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are helping this warning and healing reach someone who is on the edge of burnout or silent breakdown. Scripture says that when you sow beside all waters, you will reap in due season, and tonight God is speaking that promise directly over you. As you release, you also plant. As you give, you activate harvest. This is your moment to say, I will not let this word stop with me. When you support this work, you become a vessel that carries light into hidden rooms. Heaven records obedience, not amounts. And as you respond, may open doors meet you. May strength return to your body in waves. May peace settle in your nervous system like oil. Step into this flow boldly. So where healing is flowing, activate your part in this mission now. Faithful heart, something is shifting in the unseen even as you read this. The atmosphere around you is not the same as it was a few minutes ago. When truth is acknowledged and release is spoken, heaven responds with movement. And now that you have confronted what was hidden beneath the surface, the next layer must be revealed. God said, I need your 2 minutes only. But what those 2 minutes unlocked is far greater than you imagined. The first angel of awareness, the second angel of patterns, and the third angel of emotional roots are now aligned together. And when angels align, strategy is released. This is no longer only about what was wrong. It is about what must now be built correctly. There has been a weakness trying to form quietly, not because you are cursed, not because you are attacked beyond measure, but because you were overextended. You gave energy without restoration. You carried responsibility without boundaries. You solved problems that were not assigned to you. And slowly, your body absorbed the cost. But heaven never intended for your strength to be self-generated alone. Archangel Michael steps closer in this moment as a commander, not just a protector. He is not only cutting off negative assignments. He is enforcing divine order. And divine order includes balance. There is a sacred rhythm your body was designed to follow. Work and rest. Speaking and silence. Giving and receiving. Movement and stillness. But one side of that rhythm became heavier than the other. You moved more than you rested. You gave more than you received. You worried more than you trusted. This imbalance created strain. And here is what is serious about it. Prolonged imbalance slowly trains your body to operate in survival mode. When survival mode becomes normal, peace feels unfamiliar. Stillness feels uncomfortable. Silence feels threatening. But that was never God's design. Heaven is recalibrating your internal system. You may notice in the coming days that your body begins craving healthier choices. You may suddenly feel the desire to drink more water, to walk in fresh air, to reduce certain foods, to limit certain conversations. Do not ignore these promptings. They are not random impulses. They are restoration cues. The angels are not just spiritual messengers. They are guardians of divine intention. And the intention over your body is longevity, clarity, vitality, and purpose. You are not meant to fade quietly. You are meant to stand strong. There is also something else being exposed right now. A subtle agreement you made without realizing it. At some point, you accepted exhaustion as your identity. You said things like, "I am always tired," or "This is just how I am." Words shape patterns. Patterns shape biology. But tonight, that agreement is being revoked. You are not destined for constant fatigue. You are not created for chronic tension. You are not designed for endless overwhelm. Archangel Michael declares resilience over you. And resilience is not pushing harder. It is aligning correctly. As you move forward, watch how your body responds when you choose peace instead of panic. Watch how your breathing changes when you refuse to replay old stress. Watch how your sleep improves when you surrender control before lying down. This is practical obedience. God is not asking for dramatic gestures. He is asking for consistent alignment. And here is something that may surprise you. The seriousness of what was forming has already been reduced because you responded quickly. The timeline that could have extended months has been shortened because you chose awareness. That is the power of immediate obedience. Do not underestimate small decisions made at the right time. There is also protection being sealed over your immune system, over your circulation, over your mental clarity, over your emotional stability. The angels are not spectators. They are enforcers of divine covering. You may feel lighter already, or perhaps you feel reflective. Both are signs of internal recalibration. But do not stop here. The next shift involves your environment. Because your body does not exist in isolation. It responds to the atmosphere around you, the words spoken near you, the pace demanded of you, the energy exchanged with others. If the environment remains chaotic, restoration becomes harder to sustain. And heaven is about to reveal which environmental factor must change first. It may surprise you. It may challenge you. But it will make sense once you see it clearly. There is one adjustment that will multiply the healing you have already activated. One boundary that will protect the peace now forming inside you. And what is uncovered next will feel both confronting and freeing at the same time. Prepare yourself, because this next revelation is about influence. Steady your spirit, because what is being uncovered now is not about what is inside you, but what is around you. The restoration of your body cannot fully stabilize if your environment continues to contradict your healing. And this is where many people miss the warning. They pray for strength, but they remain inside atmospheres that slowly weaken them. God said, I need your 2 minutes only, because those 2 minutes opened your awareness. Now heaven directs your attention outward. There is an environmental influence that has been quietly affecting your body. It may not look dramatic. It may even feel familiar. But familiarity does not equal safety. Sometimes what you have adapted to is the very thing draining you. The first angel now points toward your daily atmosphere. The tone of conversations you entertain. The constant exposure to negative news. The unspoken tension in a room. The energy of certain relationships. The expectations placed upon you without discussion. All of these factors communicate with your nervous system whether you notice it or not. Your body listens to your environment even when your mind tries to ignore it. Here is one specific influence that has been increasing your internal stress. It could be a relationship where you feel you must always perform. It could be a workspace where pressure never pauses. It could even be digital noise, constant scrolling, endless comparison, subtle anxiety triggered by what you consume daily. Archangel Michael is not only guarding your physical body, he is guarding your mental gates. And he is asking you to identify what repeatedly disturbs your peace. This is not about cutting everyone off. It is about discerning what must shift. You were not designed to carry constant emotional responsibility for others. You were not meant to absorb everyone's frustration. When you stay in environments where you are always the strong one, always the problem solver, always the silent supporter, your body absorbs silent pressure, and silent pressure eventually speaks through symptoms. Heaven is showing you that some of your tension has not come from internal weakness, but from external overload. There may be someone around you who unintentionally drains your energy. After conversations with them, you feel tired without knowing why. After spending time in certain spaces, you feel restless or heavy. That is not imagination. That is your body reacting. The seriousness of this message lies here. If you do not adjust the environment, the body continues compensating. And compensation over time becomes exhaustion. God is not asking you to become isolated. He is asking you to become aware. Archangel Michael now stands at the gate of your peace. His sword is not raised in aggression. It is positioned in protection. He is ready to cut off influence that exceeds its assignment in your life. But you must cooperate. There is a boundary you have been hesitant to set. A conversation you have postponed. A limit you have avoided establishing because you fear disappointing someone. But disappointing others is not the same as disobeying God. If protecting your health requires adjustment, then adjustment becomes obedience. The angels are revealing that your body will respond quickly once the environmental pressure decreases. Sleep will deepen. The thoughts will clear. Energy will stabilize. But the shift must begin intentionally. You cannot pray for peace and entertain chaos daily. You cannot ask for strength and refuse to rest. You cannot request healing while staying in patterns that reopen the wound. There is courage required here. Quiet courage. Not loud confrontation, but steady decision-making. You may need to limit certain interactions. You may need to reduce exposure to constant negativity. You may need to reorganize your schedule. You may need to spend more time in silence. And here is something profound. When you protect your peace, you are not being selfish. You are stewarding your assignment. Because your body carries purpose. Your energy fuels calling. Your clarity supports destiny. The enemy would prefer you too drained to focus. But tonight, heaven interrupted that outcome. The angels are not only speaking warnings, they are offering strategy. As you move forward from this moment, watch how your body reacts when you distance yourself from what unsettles you. Notice how quickly calm returns when noise decreases. Pay attention to how your breathing slows when tension leaves the room. This is confirmation. God did not design you to survive constantly. He designed you to thrive with balance. There is one more layer that must be revealed. Something connected not only to environment, but to identity. Because sometimes the greatest pressure does not come from others. It comes from the standards you place on yourself. And what is about to be uncovered will challenge the way you see your own worth. Prepare your heart, because the next revelation goes even deeper. Listen carefully now, because this layer is subtle but powerful. The pressure that has been affecting your body is not only from your environment. It is also from the expectations you silently placed upon yourself. And these expectations have been heavier than you admitted. God says, I need your 2 minutes only, because those 2 minutes are enough to confront a false identity you have been carrying. Somewhere along your journey, you decided that being strong meant never slowing down. You equated worth with productivity. You believed that if you stopped performing, you would lose value. And without realizing it, you trained your body to constantly push beyond its natural rhythm. Your shoulders tightened because you carried invisible standards. Your mind raced because you felt responsible for outcomes beyond your control. Your heart rate shifted because you were always anticipating the next demand. This is not weakness. This is misalignment. Archangel Michael steps forward here not as a warrior against external threats, but as a defender of your true identity. He is cutting off the lie that says you must exhaust yourself to prove your importance. You were valuable before you achieved anything. You were chosen before you performed for anyone. The seriousness of what was happening in your body was directly connected to this internal pressure. When you constantly tell yourself, I must do more, your nervous system never rests. It remains alert, as if danger is near. But the danger was not outside. It was the unrealistic expectation within. Heaven is correcting this tonight. The angels are revealing that your body hath been craving permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to say no without fear. Permission to exist without constantly producing. You may feel emotional reading this because something inside you recognizes the truth. You have been hard on yourself. You replay mistakes longer than necessary. You hold yourself accountable beyond reason. You carry responsibilities that were never assigned to you by God, only assumed by you. And the result has been silent strain. Archangel Michael declares release over that false burden. He enforces heaven's verdict over your identity. You are loved, not because of output, but because of origin. When this truth settles deeply, your body responds. Stress hormones reduce. Breathing slows. Muscles soften. Sleep deepens. But this shift requires cooperation. You must intentionally stop speaking exhaustion over yourself. Stop declaring limitation. Stop reinforcing the identity of someone who is always overwhelmed. Words train the body. From this moment forward, begin declaring balance. Speak restoration. Speak strength. Speak peace. And as this message resonates, understand that you are not alone in this struggle. Many are silently living under self-imposed pressure. That is why this message must spread. If this is touching something real in you, like this video so it reaches others who are battling silent strain. Share it with someone who constantly overworks themselves. Comment below if you are choosing to release false expectations tonight. Your engagement pushes this warning and this healing further than you can imagine. Subscribe and become part of this growing community of spiritual awareness, because messages like this are lifelines for people who think exhaustion is normal. Before you move on, hold this thought: your value does not decrease when you rest. In fact, rest protects your calling. There is a rhythm heaven wants to reintroduce into your life. A rhythm of trust instead of tension. A rhythm of obedience instead of overexertion. A rhythm where you move when instructed and pause when guided. You were never meant to carry tomorrow's weight today. And here is the powerful truth: once you release self-imposed pressure, your body begins cooperating with healing at a faster pace. Energy stabilizes. Clarity sharpens. Motivation returns naturally instead of being forced. The urgency of tonight was not to frighten you. It was to interrupt a trajectory of burnout before it became harder to reverse. Heaven intervened early. But there is still one more revelation waiting. It concerns something you have been ignoring physically, not emotionally, not environmentally. Physically, a practical adjustment that must not be delayed any longer. What is about to be revealed next will require decisive action. Stay attentive, because this final layer connects everything together. Remain attentive, because what is unfolding now moves from spiritual awareness into practical obedience. Up until this point, the angels have addressed your emotions, your environment, and your identity. But now heaven is pointing toward something physical that you have delayed confronting. God said, "I need your 2 minutes only," because those 2 minutes opened your heart. But now those minutes must turn into movement. There is a physical signal your body has been repeating. Not dramatic enough to force you into urgency. Not painful enough to stop your routine. But consistent enough to be noticed. A recurring discomfort. A persistent fatigue at a certain hour. A pattern in your sleep. A tension that returns in the same place. You noticed it before. You dismissed it. You told yourself it was temporary. You told yourself it would pass. You told yourself you were too busy to investigate it further. But heaven is saying, do not ignore patterns that repeat. Archangel Michael stands not only as a spiritual defender, but as a guardian of wisdom. And wisdom sometimes looks like scheduling a checkup. Wisdom sometimes looks like adjusting nutrition. Wisdom sometimes looks like reducing caffeine, increasing hydration, moving your body consistently, or seeking counsel from a professional. This is not a lack of faith. This is faith in action. The seriousness of what was forming in your body was not meant to become catastrophic. It was a warning light, not a final verdict. But warning lights are given to prevent breakdowns. The angels are not asking you to panic. They are asking you to pay attention. There is something specific you have been postponing. Maybe a routine examination. Maybe a blood test. Maybe addressing a symptom you have normalized. Maybe even correcting posture, improving breathing habits, or changing a repetitive strain in your daily routine. Small corrections now prevent greater correction later. God does not heal through denial. He heals through truth and obedience. You may feel resistance rising within you as you read this. That resistance is not from fear alone. It is from inconvenience. It is easier to continue as you are than to adjust. But adjustment is protection. Archangel Michael's presence in this moment is firm but compassionate. He is not condemning you for delay. He is urging you toward alignment. He is cutting off the whisper that says, "It is not serious." Because while it may not be urgent yet, it is important. Your body has been loyal to you. It has carried you through stress, through sleepless nights, through emotional battles. It deserves attention in return. There is also something powerful about acting before crisis. When you respond early, you cooperate with heaven's intervention. You demonstrate stewardship. You show that you value the vessel God entrusted to you. And here is a deeper truth. Some breakthroughs are unlocked not only through prayer, but through practical steps. When you combine faith with wisdom, healing accelerates. Do not wait for pain to intensify before you respond. Do not wait for exhaustion to become collapse. Do not wait for clarity to fade before you seek help. The angels are aligning circumstances for you. You may notice opportunities appearing, an available appointment, a conversation that brings insight, information that confirms what you sensed. Pay attention to these openings. They are not coincidence. Heaven moves in cooperation with your decisions. If you take action within the next few days, you will look back and realize this message was perfectly timed. What could have grown larger will shrink. What could have lingered will resolve. What could have drained you will be corrected. The urgency before 11:57 p.m. was symbolic of decision. Decision precedes direction. Now that decision has been planted, direction follows. You are not fragile. You are not doomed. You are being guided. There is one final unveiling approaching, something that connects your physical obedience to a greater purpose beyond yourself. Because your body is not only for survival, it is for assignment. And what you are being preserved for will explain why heaven was so intentional tonight. Prepare yourself for that revelation. Lift your eyes beyond the immediate, because what is happening to your body is connected to something larger than comfort or discomfort. It is connected to calling. Heaven did not interrupt your night simply to prevent fatigue or correct a pattern. Heaven intervened because your strength is tied to an assignment that has not fully unfolded yet. God said, "I need your 2 minutes only," because those 2 minutes positioned you for preservation. There is something ahead of you that requires clarity of mind, steadiness of emotion, and endurance of body. If your energy had continued declining, you would have entered that next season depleted. And a depleted vessel struggles to carry divine responsibility. The angels were not reacting to minor inconvenience. They were protecting future impact. Archangel Michael now stands not only as a guardian over your health, but as a commander over your next chapter. There is influence attached to your obedience. There are people who will draw strength from your resilience. There are conversations you are meant to have that require mental sharpness. There are decisions ahead that demand calm discernment. If your body weakens unnecessarily, your confidence can waver. If your confidence wavers, hesitation increases. And hesitation delays purpose. That is why tonight mattered. You may not yet see the full picture, but heaven sees the intersection of your health and your destiny. What seemed like random stress was actually interference trying to blur your focus before a key opportunity appears. There is an opening coming. It may relate to leadership, creativity, service, ministry, or even a personal breakthrough that shifts your environment. But it requires you at your best, not your most exhausted. The seriousness of what was forming in your body was not about fear of collapse. It was about prevention of distraction. The enemy prefers you tired when doors open. Heaven prefers you alert. As restoration continues, you will notice renewed clarity rising within you. Ideas that once felt foggy will sharpen. Motivation that once felt forced will become natural. Decisions that once felt overwhelming will become manageable. This is preservation for purpose. Archangel Michael declares stamina over your steps. He reinforces discipline over your habits. He strengthens your resolve to protect what God is restoring. Do not underestimate how important your health is to your calling. There are prayers you have prayed for years. There are requests you have whispered in private. Some of those answers are approaching. But answered prayers often arrive disguised as responsibility. And responsibility requires strength. Heaven is preparing you. This preparation includes releasing past emotional weight, adjusting your environment, correcting self-imposed pressure, and addressing physical signals. All of it aligns you for what is ahead. And here is something you must not miss. Obedience now multiplies impact later. The small decisions you make this week regarding your health will ripple into months and years of stability. You are being preserved intentionally. If this message has stirred something deep within you, respond boldly. Type "I am preserved for purpose" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 808 is now activated over your body, your mind, and your assignment. As this code seals over you, understand that what is being built here is not temporary relief. It is sustained strength. And if you feel led in this moment, recognize that supporting this mission is part of your alignment. When you release a super thanks, join membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling a river of warning and restoration that reaches souls who are silently struggling. Scripture declares that those who sow beside living waters will see harvest in every season, and tonight that promise breathes over you personally. This is your moment to say, "I will help carry this light." When you give, you become a partner in preservation. You help this message interrupt someone else before their exhaustion becomes collapse. Heaven records the obedience of cheerful givers, and as you respond, may strength multiply in your own body. May provision meet you unexpectedly. May favor surround your next step. Do not delay the nudge in your spirit. Activate your seed and become part of this divine movement now. There is still one final unveiling ahead, something that brings everything full circle and reveals why the timing of 11:57 p.m. was not random at all. Prepare your heart for the closing revelation. Quiet your thoughts for a moment, because the timing of 11:57 p.m. was never about a clock alone. It was about alignment before transition. 3 minutes before midnight represents the edge of change. It represents the final opportunity to adjust before a new cycle begins. And heaven chose that image intentionally. God said, "I need your 2 minutes only," because those 2 minutes symbolized agreement before crossing into what comes next. When a day ends, it does not argue. It shifts. When a season closes, it does not announce loudly. It transitions. And many people carry old strain into new seasons simply because they never paused to realign. Tonight was your pause. The angels were not warning you of immediate danger. They were warning you of carrying unresolved imbalance into your next chapter. If you entered that chapter with emotional weight, environmental stress, false identity pressure, and ignored physical signals, the new opportunities ahead would feel heavier than necessary. But because you stopped, because you listened, because you allowed awareness to rise, the transition becomes lighter. Archangel Michael now stands at what looks like a doorway in the spirit. Behind you is the cycle of overextension. Ahead of you is disciplined strength. Behind you is silent strain. Ahead of you is intentional balance. Behind you is reaction. Ahead of you is strategy. This is a crossing moment. There is something powerful about choosing alignment before a shift. and communicates maturity. It signals readiness. It shows that you value stewardship over impulse. You may feel a sense of closure forming within you right now. A subtle decision that says, I will not go back to old patterns. That internal statement matters more than you realize. Heaven responds to decisions. The seriousness of this message was never meant to frighten you into compliance. It was meant to awaken you into responsibility. Your body is not an afterthought in your spiritual life. It is a vessel for it. If your vessel is cracked, your focus leaks. If your energy is drained, your resilience weakens. But when your vessel is strengthened, clarity flows. There are conversations coming in the next weeks that require your full presence. There are opportunities that will demand quick thinking. There are situations where others will look to you for calm guidance. And because you chose awareness tonight, you will not approach those moments depleted. Instead, you will approach them steady. The angels are now sealing what hath been activated, not with noise but with order. Order in your schedule. Order in your rest. Order in your boundaries. Order in your self-talk. Order in your health decisions. Order reduces chaos. And here is something profound. Discipline is not restriction. It is protection. When you discipline your habits, you protect your future. When you discipline your environment, you protect your peace. When you discipline your body with wise care, you protect your calling. Archangel Michael reinforces this truth over you. He is not only guarding you from attack, he is guarding you from self-neglect. You are stepping into a cleaner rhythm now. You may notice in the coming days that certain temptations to overextend yourself feel weaker. You may sense stronger conviction when you consider ignoring a physical signal. You may feel a clear boundary rising within you when pressure tries to return. That is confirmation. The shift has begun. Do not sabotage it by returning to old language. Do not undo it by minimizing what you sense tonight. Honor this moment by acting consistently with it. There is still one final piece that must be spoken. It is not about warning. It is about commissioning. Because preservation without direction can become comfort. But preservation with direction becomes purpose. You were not only saved from imbalance, you were prepared for impact. What comes next will explain exactly how your restored strength connects to others around you. Stay ready, because the closing revelation ties everything together in a way that will leave no doubt about why heaven interrupted you tonight. Stand firm in this moment, because what is being spoken now is not just about protection or prevention. It is about commissioning. Heaven did not preserve your body simply so you could feel better. Heaven preserved your body because you are meant to carry something that requires endurance. God said, I need your 2 minutes only, and those 2 minutes have now positioned you at the edge of activation. You were never meant to live in survival mode. You were meant to operate in authority. But authority requires stability. When your emotions are unstable, your decisions fluctuate. When your body is exhausted, your discernment dulls. When your mind is overloaded, your confidence shrinks. Archangel Michael now stands not behind you, but beside you. This is the posture of partnership. He is not only defending, he is reinforcing your readiness. There is an assignment approaching that will stretch you, but not break you. It will require leadership in some form. It may not look like a stage or a title. It may look like guiding your family through change. It may look like stepping into a new responsibility at work. It may look like initiating a project that has been resting in your heart. But whatever it is, it demands clarity and stamina. If you had continued ignoring your body, you would have entered that moment doubting your capacity. you would have felt drained before it even began. But because heaven interrupted your trajectory, you will approach it with strength instead of strain. This is not accidental timing. The seriousness of this message was about alignment before increase. Increase without alignment creates pressure. Alignment before increase creates momentum. You are stepping into momentum. You may already sense a subtle rise in motivation. Not frantic energy, but focused intention. That is the sign of recalibration. Your nervous system is settling. Your thoughts are organizing. Your priorities are becoming clear. Guard this clarity. Do not allow distractions to reclaim your attention. Do not return to overcommitting yourself. Do not volunteer for burdens that God did not assign. Your strength is strategic. And if this message has been speaking directly into your life, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so others can encounter this same interruption of grace. Share it with someone who constantly neglects their health while serving everyone else. Comment below if you are choosing disciplined strength over silent strain. Subscribe and become part of this movement of spiritual alignment. Your engagement spreads this message far beyond what you can see. And before you move on, stay with this flow, because what is about to connect next will deepen your understanding even more. Archangel Michael now declares something powerful over you: resilience with restraint. That means you will be strong, but you will also be wise. You will work, but you will also rest. You will lead, but you will also listen. This balance is your protection. There is also a warning hidden within this commissioning. If you abandon the disciplines you are building now, the old patterns will attempt to reattach. Not immediately, but gradually. That is how cycles return. Consistency is your shield. In the coming weeks, test your boundaries. Not to break them, but to reinforce them. Practice saying no when necessary. Practice scheduling rest intentionally. Practice addressing small physical signals immediately. Each small act strengthens your foundation. You are no longer reacting to stress. You are proactively managing your vessel. And here is the deeper truth. When your body operates in balance, your spiritual sensitivity increases. You hear more clearly. You discern more accurately. You respond more calmly. That is why this mattered. Heaven is not only preserving your health. Heaven is refining your perception. There is one final declaration that must be spoken. It will seal this entire journey and place a mark of confirmation over what began tonight. Prepare yourself, because this closing word carries both authority and blessing. Steady your heart now, because this is where confirmation settles into covenant. Everything that has been revealed tonight was not a temporary alert. It was a divine recalibration. And recalibration is not complete until it is sealed with understanding. God said, "I need your 2 minutes only." But what those 2 minutes truly represented was surrender. When you paused, you demonstrated humility. When you listened, you demonstrated trust. And when you chose to align instead of ignore, you stepped into partnership with heaven. This is not small. Archangel Michael now stands in a posture of witness. Not fighting. Not cutting. Not warding. Witnessing. Because a shift has already occurred within you. You are no longer unaware of your body's signals. You are no longer dismissing emotional residue. You are no longer tolerating draining environments without discernment. You are no longer carrying self-imposed expectations without question. Awareness changes responsibility. From this moment forward, you cannot say you did not know. And that is not condemnation. That is empowerment. The seriousness of what was forming has already been reduced. The slow drain has been interrupted. A silent tension has been confronted. The false identity hath been corrected. The practical adjustment has been highlighted. Now comes maintenance. Heaven does not sustain what you neglect. It sustains what you steward. You may feel a new sensitivity within you in the coming days. A quicker awareness when something feels off. A stronger internal signal when you overextend. A clearer discomfort when your environment shifts negatively. Do not ignore this sensitivity. It is refinement. Archangel Michael reinforces discernment over your spirit. He strengthens your ability to sense early signals instead of late consequences. There is also something powerful happening beneath the surface. Your confidence is being rebuilt. Not loud confidence, not pride, but quiet assurance. The kind that comes from knowing you are aligned. When you are aligned, fear loses volume. You will notice that situations that once overwhelmed you begin to feel manageable. Conversations that once intimidated you will feel navigable. Responsibilities that once felt crushing will feel structured. This is the fruit of alignment. But there is a final warning woven into this sealing moment. Do not return to neglect under the illusion of strength. Sometimes after restoration begins, people assume they can handle more again. They overcommit. They overpromise. They overextend. Resist that urge. Balance is not weakness. It is wisdom. Heaven is not preparing you to become busy again. It is preparing you to become effective. There is a difference. Busyness drains. Effectiveness multiplies. Your body is not a machine. It is a living vessel. It responds to care. It responds to peace. It responds to rhythm. Protect that rhythm fiercely. Archangel Michael now declares stability over your coming months. Stability in your energy. Stability in your thoughts. Stability in your habits. Stability in your emotions. Stability is strength. And here is something profound. When your internal world becomes stable, your external influence increases naturally. People trust steady individuals. People rely on balanced leaders. People are drawn to calm presence. You are becoming mit presence. This entire interruption tonight was not just for prevention. It was for preparation. You are stepping into a season where others may look to you for guidance. And you will not guide from depletion. You will guide from discipline. The 2 minutes God asked for were symbolic of willingness. And because you gave them, you receive a strategy. Now only one declaration remains. It is not a warning. It is a commissioning blessing that seals everything spoken and releases you into the next chapter with clarity and authority. Prepare your spirit, because this final word will mark the completion of what began tonight. My faithful one, this is the sealing moment. What began as an urgent whisper before 11:57 p.m. has now become a covenant of alignment over your life. God said, I need your 2 minutes only. And those 2 minutes have shifted more than you can see. They interrupted a silent drain. They exposed hidden pressure. They corrected false identity. They highlighted physical wisdom. They restored rhythm. And now, they release you forward. This was never about fear. It was about preservation with purpose. Archangel Michael now stands in full authority at the threshold of your next season. Not blocking you, not warning you, omitting you. His presence declares that what tried to slowly weaken you has lost its grip. What tried to exhaust you quietly has been cut off. What attempted to distract you before increase has been denied access. You are not stepping forward fragile. You are stepping forward fortified. Understand this clearly. Heaven intervened because you are needed strong. There are conversations waiting for your voice. There are responsibilities waiting for your steadiness. There are people who will draw courage from your discipline. And if your body had continued in silent imbalance, you would have approached those moments drained instead of prepared. But now you are prepared. The seriousness of what was happening had been replaced with strategy. You are aware of your emotional signals. You are attentive to your environment. You have confronted self-imposed pressure. You have acknowledged physical adjustments. And most importantly, you have agreed with heaven. Agreement activates covering. From this day forward, you will not ignore early signs. You will not normalize constant exhaustion. You will not glorify burnout. You will not postpone wisdom. You will move with intention. You will rest without guilt. You will act without panic. You will protect your vessel as sacred. Archangel Michael seals resilience over your immune system. He seals calm over your nervous system. He seals clarity over your thoughts. He seals discipline over your habits. He seals protection over your sleep. This is not temporary motivation. This is structural change. The clock image of 11:57 p.m. symbolized a final warning before transition. You did not cross into the next chapter unaware. You crossed with insight. And here's the final revelation. Your strength is not only for you. It is for those assigned to your influence. When you operate in balance, others feel permission to do the same. When you reject exhaustion culture, others question their own unhealthy cycles. When you model disciplined peace, you become a living message. You are now part of the solution. Heaven trusted you with this interruption because you are capable of stewardship. So seal this moment with declaration. Type "I walk in divine strength" in the comments if you receive this commissioning. Blessing code 1212 is now released over your body, your rhythm, and your assignment. Let this code mark the closing of strain and the opening of stability. And now, as this word completes its circle, hear this clearly. What God ignited tonight is not meant to stop with you. Just as your obedience protected your future, your generosity can protect someone else's breakthrough. The Lord says that when you sow into fertile ground, you become part of the harvest of souls. This message is light cutting through silent exhaustion across nations. When you release a super thanks, join membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, you are pouring oil into a lamp that refuses to go out. You are helping this warning reach someone standing at their own 11:57 p.m. moment. As Scripture declares, the one who waters others will himself be watered, and that promise breathes over you now. This is not a donation. It is a prophetic response. It is seed in living soil. As you give, may strength multiply in your body. May provision chase you. May open doors respond to your obedience. Do not hesitate when the Spirit nudges you. Act now and seal your partnership in this divine mission. The interruption is complete. The alignment is sealed. Walk forward strong.